So I've got a water bath preheated to 150 degrees Fahrenheit. It's going to be about 66 Celsius. It has to be large enough to fit the bag in, and it's a pretty full bag, so wide enough as well. So I've got some shrimp here. They are on ice. Again, keep raw shrimp nice and cold. They've been thawed, so we thawed them in the cooler. If they are frozen, you just run them under cold water until they're completely thawed. And then we're going to peel. We're going to peel the shrimp. So I've already got some pre-peeled, so I'll just run you through peeling just a few. So I like to grab them by one edge and just peel away just like so. We're going to save these shells. You can use your thumb to get down inside where the little legs of the shrimp are, and then just gently peel it away. So you can leave the tail on for presentation, or you can go ahead and remove it. We're going to leave them on. So as I work, I'm going to go right back into the ice, reserve the shells. You don't have to cook them with the shells, but what it does is it gives so much more shrimp flavor back into the shrimp. So these shrimp were headless, head removed, whole shrimp. They are not peeled or deveined. So every creature has a digestive tract from the mouth to the end. We're going to remove that tract. I'll show you how here. Take one at a time. I'm going to lay it down on the board. Sharp knife. We're going to go from the head side all the way down to the tail side. Just a nice slice. Just down the back. Just like that. I'm just going to make a nice little row here. Working quickly is to keep everything nice and cold. Start at the head side. Gently push it down to the tail. So I can lay it on the board or you can hold it here. Just like so. Just nice and gentle. You don't have to go in too far. 16 per the recipe.
What size are those ones?
The size of these are U12s. So anything above the 1620s are going to go into the U or the colossal size. U means under. So I think U10 is about the biggest shrimp you can get. So there we go. So I've got all the back sliced. Now we're going to take the vein out. Every shrimp is going to have a vein, whether it's full of sand or funk or whatever. It could be clear, but everyone has one. So I like to lay it on the board, take my knife, push it along the board, and pull that vein out. Then I'll flip the shrimp over just to be sure and make sure I get all of that out. Sometimes they're sandy, sometimes they're not. All the way down, then back onto the ice. You can definitely put on a pair of gloves at home. Keep it nice and clean. Sometimes they'll have reproductive stuff going on there. That's a little bit separate from the vein. Just go ahead and remove all that as well. Nobody wants a little gritty sand when you're eating shrimp. It's just no fun. So now I'm going to go to the sink and just kind of finish the job, because you'll see here that there's little bits that get left in, and I just want to wash those away. So I'm just going to go to the sink. We're going to rinse these tracks away. So cold water. Make sure it's cold, and then we just need a small stream. Push all my shrimp to one side so I know that I've done the job for each. And just right there, just use my finger, push it down, and clean out that shrimp, just like so. Onto the ice, move on to the next one. Just make sure they're nice and clean. Shrimp is an old English word for something small. You could call it a shrimp or a prawn. To me, they're the same exact thing, just where you are in the world. So now we need to season our shrimp. So we could do a brine of 5% salt, 5% sugar, let them hang out in there for about 30 minutes, remove them from the brine, and then bag them up. Or we could just season them right here and get them in the bag and cook them. So that's a quicker version. Tear off the bowl on the scale. So tear it off, 0 weight. Pop these on, our nice clean shrimps. We're going to go 1% salt, 1% sugar. All right, so I have about 600 grams. So I'm going to do 6 grams of salt, 6 grams of sugar. All right, 6 and 6. All right. So we're going to toss these up and get them nice and coated in the salt and the sugar.
I just, when I was using it, it was the one I was use this and paying for it. It's just too heavy. It'll be totally fine if we don't get even bigger.
All right, that season is evenly distributed and coated. We're gonna load them into our Ziploc freezer bag. I like to fold this over so we can keep it nice and clean. And we're gonna line these shrimp up in a nice little row. These shrimp will hold the shape that they're in, so if you want them more curled, just curl them up. We just don't want to stack them on top of each other. We want to keep everything nice, flat, and even. All right, now we're going to do one more row. All right, so we have our shrimp in the bag. We're going to add a little bit of fresh lemon zest. Just a few strips here. Oh, there's about 5 strips. Just put them in there. Then we're going to add a little glug of some olive oil. So we're going to add the shrimp shells to the bag. The step is optional, but it does give a lot of extra flavor. So it's super shrimpy. Lay these right on top of here. There's a lot of air that gets trapped inside the shells too, so it'll be a little buoyant, but we'll try to weigh it down. I'm gently pressing this down into the bag on top of the shrimp. And then we're gonna fold that back over, and I'm gonna go back over to the sink and we're gonna use a water displacement method. We're gonna push out as much air as we can underwater. So keeping it nice and flat in the shape that we put it in there, we're gonna go to the water. So nice cold water. I'm going to press it down gently. You want to remove all that air, keeping the bag top open, and push it down. Displace that air out. Burp the bag a little bit, push it down, and then seal it up. Press it down, displace that air. So I got a nice open piece, open top there where that air is going to pop out, and just seal it up. There we go. We've got a nice sealed package. Still a little bit of air in there, but that's what you want. We're going to drop it in our bath and cook it for 20 minutes. The shrimp can be for your cold, chilled cocktails, or to eat just without cocktail sauce. Or you could cook it right out of the bag into a pasta or into something warm or hot. It's going to be cooked to perfection, so you don't need to overcook it. So it's good to top salads with. Still warm is fine. Or if you want it cold, you're going to have to ice it after it's cooked. All right, so we're going to drop this into the water, just like so. If it is a little buoyant here, just need to weigh it down with a pan lid or something that's going to hold it down. Just make sure everything is under the water. Okay, if it's not under the water, you can use a secondary lid and pop it down like that. Just needs to be under the water. So if one lid is good for this, we'll set our timer for 20 minutes. We're good. So we've got this beautiful sous vide shrimp, succulent, juicy, cooked to perfection. Usually when you cook shrimp, you're boiling it, leaching all the flavor into the water. This way is not so. We are imparting so much flavor with the shells that we cook in the bag. We've removed the shells, but we put them back in the bag. So let's check this out here. These have been cooked and chilled, and these are perfect for your shrimp cocktails. You can eat them hot right out of the bag, but just slice this puppy open here and see just inside. So perfectly cooked succulent shrimp.